Okay. So first thing I would notice is maybe just a tiny bit of shield management, all right? So right when we walk out, we're shielding. We take this fire strike shielding. We're shielding literally the whole time as we walk with the payload. And so what that ends up doing is right now our shield is at half. And we haven't even really gotten to enter the fight yet. And so now that we're actually walking into the fight, if this was a later fight, or even for this fight, it still matters. This Ryan shield is probably at 1800, 1900 maybe. And so you are going to lose the shield war. And what that means is your team isn't going to stay in the fight as long. If this was a later fight and they had shatter, your team would get shattered. And so what we can do is we can actually do stuff called like shield hop, where we're jumping with our shield. So it's like shield, jump, shield, jump, shield, jump, shield, jump. And let our armor that we have take any damage that would come. We can also drop our shield when stuff like a fire strike is going to happen. Not always, but in this case, there wasn't like a sniper immediately shooting or something. Because then when that fire strike comes, if we're going to take 100 damage anyway, why take it here as well as here? Because it pierces, it goes through both. So might as well at least drop the shield, get 100 more on that. And maybe even the fire strike will miss us totally. And then we didn't feed ults either. And so definitely maybe just a little bit of shield management. I gave a few different tips there on how to do that. And you would already be having a better time in this upcoming fight. Cool. So we definitely got destroyed there when we got slept. Do you know what we could have done to avoid that though? And this is something that I will always mention to any SR below like Master probably. If we would have just hit tab, at 15 seconds we can see what the enemy's running. So if we would have known that they had an Ana, we maybe wouldn't have been so risky. We wouldn't have dropped our shield. And because we know that we're going to get slept, and so we can listen for like the sound cue that the sleep makes, but at 15 seconds in, so that's, in this case it would have been at 3:45, you can hit tab real quick and it'll show you the entire enemy comp. We're way past that time, and actually one of the worst parts is that at 15-second time we were actually in a pretty safe spot to hit, well now we're doing it, but we were actually right here. And so we so easily could have just hit tab real quick right here before we peeked around this corner. There would have been no issues for us. And that was a prime example right there. So you see this fire strike that's coming in? It's gonna hit us. We can't dodge that. It's not gonna happen realistically. So let's drop our shield. It doesn't need to hit our shield and our health bar. No reason usually. We know that the Ana has used nade and sleep. We saw her use them both. So we really don't have any reason to keep our shield up right here. So one thing that has to enter our mind right here, right? So we hit tab like once, so we've at least seen their team comp. But if their Zarya has Grav, our Ana has Nano, does their Rein have Shatter? You gotta start alt tracking as you get into like the Diamond Plus area. Definitely need to be doing it. And the easiest way to start, if you've never alt tracked before, is just to alt track your counterpart. So if you're a main tank, track the main tank. If you're a main healer, track the main healer. And this is even more important to you on Rhine, because if your team gets shattered, it's 90% your fault most of the time, at least at this level. When you go up, there starts to be some combos that you can't avoid. But in the plat level, you have to know when your Rhine has shatter so that you can block that for your team. Honestly, I would assume that their Rhine does have shatter because he hasn't died yet. he got to swing on your diva when you weren't there, or when your diva flew into this room, I should say, and stuff. And so I would assume he does have shatter. So even though you got nanoed, you got to be a little bit careful approaching this Ryan here. You see him start to shatter? If your Fire Strike and Moira wouldn't have just stayed on him, he would have shattered your team there. So you left him over there. Your team is directly behind you, and it would have canceled your Moira ult and stuff, so it would have been big. And thankfully he died. He didn't have a healer pocketing him, but he started to say hammer down and shatter your team.
Nice job. Watch the Hanzo though, these arches.
No one even on your screen right now. Hanzo's gone. Drop your shield. Let it go back to 2000. It only takes 12 seconds to go from 0 to 2000. So to go from round numbers 1900 to 2000, you're literally talking about like a second without shield. Well, it takes a second to start generating too, so a little bit more than a second. What are you shielding right now? Payload hasn't rounded the corner yet. The only person who is shooting this way is your Widow. And to put it into perspective of kind of where your Widow is, we would simply look. Your Widow is playing somewhere in here. That's why her shot had that kind of angle. Payload is right here still. And no one is ahead of the payload. So by you standing here and shielding, you're burning your shield. Same thing as kind of, we had the same issue on point A, and we got slept and our team got wiped pretty fast. Why don't we literally just stand on this corner until the shield payload is here, and so our team is starting to be behind it, and then we rotate and shield. Almost the exact same position, and so it's good that you have that foundation. You're in the position, you're thinking about what you need to do, but do it a couple seconds later actually, and you'd be having a better time. Instead, our shield is at 1477 right now. One of the most important things about your shatter, especially as you start to climb and you start to play with these comps like goats, where they are 3 supports and 3 healers, is you have to know if your team is in position to follow up on your shatter. Because otherwise, most of the time, here's what's going to happen with your shatter. Guys, I shattered 5. Wait, my Fire Strike is on cooldown. Yep, it is. So I'm not going to get a plethora of kills. Wait, my positioning is too far. I can't swing on them. So I'm also not going to get a plethora of kills. Alright, wait, I've got my charge. No, we don't even have our charge here. But most of the time we would have our charge. So okay, I'm going to charge 1 person. Nice, I charged 1 person and I went in and now I died. So really we're at a net 0 and I used my ult to get us to a net 0. So think about that, and think about that next time you use your shatter, because it's awesome that we got all these people in our shatter. Woohoo. But we had no abilities to follow up, and even if we had abilities, the only ability that we would have had was charge, which would only kill 1, and then we're probably just going to get a storm arrow in our back by Hanzo. Meanwhile, our backline is dying here, so we're not going to win this fight, and now we don't have shatter for the next fight.
Good job.
only note I'm going to make to you, and this is higher level. I don't necessarily expect you to be doing this right now. So it takes 12 seconds for your shield to get back to 100. That's whether it broke fully or whether you stopped it with 10. So the one note I always make is try not to let your shield break fully. Because you can hear that Ryan says hammer down as soon as it breaks. And that is so common. As soon as, if I'm a diva, if I'm a McCree with my high noon, if I'm a Ryan with my shatter, and I hear the other Ryan's shield break, oh, it's free elo for me. I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to pop my ult, and I'm going to get all the kills that I want. If you even stop your shield at 10, believe it or not, that's actually enough to block the shatter. It's just fine. If you stop your shield at 50, it won't have that final breaking noise. And so if you're playing against like a cautious Ryan or a cautious diva or something, they may not throw their ult. And it's no difference. Like, you didn't probably shield anything super vital in this last 50 shield, I don't believe. And so essentially we just gave our enemies an opportunity to ult. And this is minor, but minor things add up. So right here, 146, 100, just drop it. You're not shielding anything. You're good. Just drop it. You have a chance if you're some sort of crazy player with good reaction times to block the shatter, and you may block the shatter just mentally, mind gaming it, because he may not throw his ult if he believes you still have some shield. Instead, shield broke, and he walks straight forward, and he's already shattering right now. That's what that hammer movement is. It ended fine, and he wasted his shatter because you guys were winning. Also, got a common voice. Say that you don't have your charge or whatever, because your whole team was standing there waiting for you to charge him.
No one can hide from my sight. Get into position.
So we know their Ryan doesn't have shatter, right? But what we also know is that they have been, if we're thinking about alts, which we're probably not because we haven't hit tab, is that they have a Hanzo and a Zarya right there, and she is not grabbed in a long time, and he is not dragoned in a long time. So what I would be severely worried about is my whole team is super tight in the circle, rounding this corner right here. If we get grabbed dragoned here, that's totally our fault. That's partially our fault as a main tank, because we need to call, hey, I think that Zarya has ult. Let's split a tiny bit.
Get in there.
Okay, in this case, we got to see where your allies are.
Jesus.
Okay, so I stand by what I said. They have double sniper in this window up here. We have 2 allies here. We have 3 allies dead. We are the rectangle that will allow our allies to cross this bridge unharmed. Okay, so what we need to do is, instead of going on this bridge, feeding shield right now, doing whatever, we need to wait. Usually you would just go ahead and sit right here, wait for your team to respawn. They can come right here, and then you all walk together behind your safe rectangle so that the snipers who are in this window do not just pick off your supports as they cross the bridge. Instead, you're crossing the bridge alone, which gives the snipers more time to farm you, and even if you start winning the fight, it gives them the perfect opportunity to shoot your Ana as she starts to cross the bridge. She has no movement ability, she has no way to cover her head, she has no shield because you've already crossed the bridge. And so if you do not kill those double snipers right away, like your Widow pops off or something, they should kill your Ana. And it's because you left her.
What is right side?
That Widow went in that window to take a shot at Tirana, and thankfully her aim sucks. If it didn't suck, Tirana would be dead, and it would 100% be your fault, and you couldn't go into this next fight without Tirana.
Nice pick.
So I did just warn you that you were going to get Grav Dragon next fight. What if we were in comms, and so we could have just told our Reaper not to use his ult, so that it didn't get wasted or something like that. It doesn't even have to be a big kind of brain thing, a big thought thing, anything like that. It can literally just be, oh hey, I haven't seen Grav in a long time. We might get grabbed.
Watch the shatter here.
That was a good call. Even in the coalescence, you don't want to play too aggressive because you know you're going to get shattered. He got there weirdly fast. And that again just goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. It was a nice shatter and stuff, but just think, is my team in position to follow up on this shatter? Because they weren't. Good, you know how to shield hop. You're doing it just fine. That's what I would have loved to see you doing coming out of spawn.
Sorry, he's on the left.
I'm so confused here. So here you are, swinging on the Zarya. She's getting close to dying. You can see that she used her personal bubble. Widow is faster than you, and you should trust your Widow anyway if you're committing to this. Why do we leave the Zarya? Look how low she is. And we just fire strike and we're done with her. She didn't die. You have a kill feed for that, and it'll pop up here. You walked away from her. Your Moira had to fade. You see that your Moira faded, so your Moira's not getting that kill. She's running away. And we let the Zarya live, and then the Zarya is still alive. Like right now. I don't know why it's doing that. And is bubbling herself bubbling the Brig now, so that the Brig can get even more damage. I'm not confident you would have won this fight anyway, which is why I wouldn't have used my shatter, because if you've been watching the kill feed, it's 3-6 right now, pretty much, 3-5. But I digress, not the point. If we would have farmed the Zarya, we would have been in a lot better place. And then on the shatter, I don't agree that you or your Winston should have ulted here. Do you see this? Dead. Dead. Ashe isn't quite in position to follow up with us yet. Monkey is popping his ult. And so you do want to be a little bit careful about when you're ulting. Thankfully, it looks like your team is kind of cleaning up, mostly because you're unopposed here. But you also know that both your healers died, so you have no healers. No reason to sigh over that. You know you have no healers. Call for your team to group up. As your main tank, there is such great comms you could be adding to this. Hold on, group up, I'm gonna shatter, watch for the graph. As main tank, and as your team's real shield, if you play Ryan a lot, you have such a unique opportunity. One of my favorite examples is High Noon. So if a McCree High Noons, and you're not close enough to get behind cover, you have the unique thing where you can just stand there and wait and shield. No one else can do that. No one else can just stare at a High Noon and have no fear of death. And so you're oftentimes the only one that will see when that McCree is done High Nooning, like if he cancels it instead of shoots it. And so you can call that to your team. And that's a fantastic example of what Reinhardt's can do that almost no one else can do. And so in that same way, you could be doing stuff right now, like calling, I'm going to block their Ryan shatter, so stay behind me. Or get away from me, my shield's about to die and their Ryan has shatter. Or whatever that is. But you gotta, if you really are serious about climbing and you really want to climb, the more comms you add, it'll help you immensely. Okay, so you're dead here. Don't let your team waste any ults or anything. Beg them to group up, beg them to fall back, and you guys will be having a better time.
Alright, let's just get back up.
You're not shielding anything important here, and we stopped our shield from going back to 2,000. So think about that. If we had a 2,000 shield with this 23 seconds, it would help us get up there, and it would help us get our shatter off because we wouldn't have as much fear as we're walking up. Instead, we kind of are shielding nothing here. So our shield starts to go up. Nice. Why do we bring it up here? Was there any need? We could have just sat behind this corner for another second, gone in here, anything, just to get that critical 2,000. Instead, I won't be surprised if your shield breaks before you get there. And like here, you're just nothing. You're not shielding anything important. And now your shield only has 500. 300. Now you guys can't push.
That's it.
Would that grab have probably stopped you anyway? Yeah. But could you have played better? Yes. Glad to see you fire strike the door. So important. Such an easy way to do better, and so many Ryans forget about it. That min-maxing like that is so important to making sure that you're better.
Corner, I have no shield.
Good call, good call. Let it go up. You don't have to concern yourself. Let it go up. Let it go up. Okay, see, now you made one of the biggest mistakes here. Your shield is going up, going up, going up, going up. Everything is good. Up arrows all around, and then you peek it for 2 seconds. You don't even block anything important. You couldn't have blocked anything important right there, but you stop your shield from going up in that time. You could have added another 500, 300 to your shield if you would have just let it stay going. Instead, so we're at 1,200 now, and we peek it. Nothing blocked even. But now, these next 3 seconds, 2 seconds that it's up, it's not blocking, it's not going up at all. Imagine if you would have just had a tiny bit more shield there and you could have just stood and let your team sit behind it. Instead, you kind of felt forced to swing because your shield was so low. Just run away. You don't need to take a fight here. There's no cover, and so this is a terrible place to take a fight. You see how you're just kind of getting farmed as you're backing up? And that's what happens here because there's no cover.
The Hanzo's up top here. Nice, nice.
That was almost pure luck. So your team stacks support ults, which is always kind of a feels bad. You usually want them to be separate, but now you know you can push a tiny bit. You can play aggressive for a second while you have both of those support ults. So I'm happy to see that you're pulling up. You're not just letting them take free space. Because remember, even if the offense is losing, if they're pushing the payload, they're winning. Okay. So I know we were about to die, and that was probably why we shattered, but we didn't need to be in that position in the first place. So it actually starts here. So you have dragons, cool, but you hear them pop Transcendence. The nice part about counter-pinning Orion, or even pinning Orion, is killing him, or counter-pinning him so the new teammates can headshot him, anti him, kill him real quick, whatever. You know you're not going to get an anti because you don't have an Ana, so get that out of your head. So by counter-pinning the Rhine, you're doing actually nothing. By pinning the Rhine, you're doing actually nothing. You have your ult, so you're not building any ult charge. He has a Zen Transcendence, so you're not going to kill him most likely. And so what you do here is you sacrifice some of your health and a crucial ability for nothing. And so it starts right here is where the mistake starts. Their Zen is already ulting. You could hear it a second ago. You can see the outline. Yet you still start your charge right now. And so by going into this situation, we have now put ourselves further out of place from our team. Yes, our Winston is here, but he can just jump away. And now we have to kind of kite back while Orion can swing on us, which is not something that we wanted. We're now at 375 instead of 500, and it keeps happening. So we're now at 271. We're now at 100, and right now, just now, we get back to where we were when we first pinned him. We could have just been here the whole time, and we could still be at 500. We could be shielding our team. They could be breaking the Rhine shield. We could be setting up for a beautiful shatter. If we were losing, we could be falling back, but instead we're right back where we started because we pinned a Rhine who had Transcendence. And you can tell he had Transcendence. Look at his health. So it's unfortunate that we died there, unlucky that we died there, but we made it easier to kill us there. Which is a bummer too, because that's one of the best corners in the entire map to hold. Like that's where like multiple Overwatch World Cup teams were stopped. I mean, it's just a great spot for the defense. What are you shielding right now? You're shielding just random Genji shots. And so now your shield's at half. And you didn't shield anything. And then we peek our shield right there. We're in a Winston bubble. We don't need to peek our shield. Even if there's something coming at us, we don't need to peek our shield. Every time you peek your shield, it delays that by 2 seconds. So now our shield is at 500. And do you think that Ryan has shatter? Because he hasn't shattered in a minute as far as I know.
There is still more to my tale.
Zarya's all alone. Nice.
Point, guys. Point.
We hadn't quite won the fight, and we kind of pushed up like we had. And that was really what happened to us there, and really why we died there.
Ah! Again! Again!
My will made warrior.
Get behind!
Watch the grab. Zarya's one left side.
I got one left here.
It's a good call to say watch the grab, because you guys are going to get grabbed. There you go.
Nice ult, nice ult.
Stop shielding. Your Zen is transcendencing. What are you shielding? You're wasting your shield here is all you're doing. Still shielding. Still shielding.
Nice ult, nice ult.
Could be swinging on their Ryan, building our ult. Exact same outcome would have happened, except you'd have a 2,000 shield, and you'd probably be 20% closer to your ult right now, which could save the game.
Did you spawn?
%20 closer would be your ult this fight right now. And so like if you lose this fight and you had like an opportunity for a shatter, that's literally on you because you were shielding in a grab that you were transcendenced.
I'll be up in a minute. Alright, we're up ults here, so be careful. I'm gonna shatter here. My shield's out.
You think maybe your team played aggressive because you said I'm gonna shatter here? I mean, I can't say that it would have changed anything. That Genji has been doing really good most of the game against your team, but they were all kind of clumped into a tight room where they were like close to the enemy, and that might have very well been because you said you were going to shatter here. It's so easy to say just, oh, never mind, no chance, not an opportunity, whatever. But you got to make certain calls, or if you're going to make a call, you got to stick with that call, even if it's not the perfect call, because it changes the way your teammates play. It's like when you call someone's one, but they're not actually one, and someone goes for them, they might mess up on a crucial kill, or if they're a Moira, they might fade at that person who's one, and then they may die because they don't have their fade, or whatever it is. But we need to make sure our calls are as accurate as possible. We need to make sure we're either following up or canceling our calls. Like, it's just fine to say, target Ryan, and then you realize, like, the Mercy is 1 health, and so you say, oh, Mercy. Like, that is just fine, but you need to make that modification. Don't say go for Ryan and then you see Mercy as one and then go for Mercy without saying anything, because that'll throw off your whole team.
How are they?
Wait for me!
Alright, we got fields we can touch.
Огонь по готовности.
Unfortunate. I went on quite a few rants, quite a bit of detail, gave you quite a bit to work on, because I think that plat is one of the best places in the whole game. It can be so difficult to climb out of like that 2900. It can be so difficult to get to 3000, and it can be so difficult again to climb at 3200 is from what I've noticed. And so I think that plat, especially like 2800 where you're at right now, you're coming up on that 2900. I'm sure you've maybe even touched that 2900. It is the worst place in the game because the game changes so much from plat to diamond. So much. It wouldn't even surprise me if like the Genji who was comboing with the Ana has like a diamond account, not even like a masters or a grandmaster smurf or something like that, literally just a diamond, because he was doing stuff that a diamond does. He was comboing alts, he was out of position when, or like away from like where you were gonna shatter, he was waiting until you guys pop transcendence in the grav. That is how a diamond starts to play, and that was the level that I was trying to get you on, which is why I was giving you so many details about comms, about shield management, about shatters, because you have to start thinking that way, and it has to leave. This is like a solo carry. You can solo carry yourself to plat. You cannot, in my opinion, solo carry yourself out of diamond easily and into diamond easily, because it's where it starts to become a team game, a 6-on-6 game, where it really matters what you're saying, what you're doing, and making sure that you're really following up with your team, making sure that your team is in position to follow up with you.